Hello y'all, and welcome back to another video. Today's video I'm going to be reading some notes that I wrote down as I was driving to church earlier, and I just wanted to take the notes and kind of make a video while I was just sitting in one spot and not moving as much. So as I was driving, I was just thinking about how sometimes in life we regret things, or we wish we had done things differently when we go through hard situations. But God showed me how God gives us all a measure of faith. Only through tests and trials can we build our faith. We haven't been in this life before to know how to do things when it's our first time going through things. So it's only through those experiences that we learn from those experiences and grow to know next time what to do in a situation that is similar to what we're experiencing. So God was showing me that regret is really not something He wants for us, because nowhere in the Bible does God tell us to regret anything. Regret is not of God, because God allows us to grow from our mistakes and from the situations we go through. He allows us to go through tests to grow our faith and to learn from those tests. He doesn't send us into those things knowing everything, because if we knew everything going into situations, we would trust and truly depend on ourselves and our own abilities and not depend on God. So if you're in a season or a situation right now where you feel like you handled it differently than what you would have wanted to handle it, just know that you've learned something from it. I'm in a season where I'm learning gratitude is really the way to combat or fight against any negative things that try to come your way, like being grateful. So if you're in a tough season right now and you have focused more on the negatives of what's in the season, try focusing on the good things that have come out of this season. Like, what have you learned in this season? Where has God grown you in this season? Because sometimes we focus so much on what's going on in the outer, but we don't really focus as much at times on what's happening within us. Like, what is God teaching me in this season? What have I learned? Because I can say that I have learned a lot in seasons where I would have rather not have experienced certain things, but God has shown me a lot in those seasons. So learning to find things to be grateful for in that season is definitely something that I have had to work on, and I'm still working on, because God is showing me that being grateful and having gratitude is the way to fight against all negative thoughts that try to come when you're going through situations or when you're in your seasons of tests and trials. So I just wanted to make this video to basically talk about how we can't regret how we handled certain things or situations. Like, say for instance, you went through a season where you felt like it was hard and you complained throughout most of it. Knowing that although you did complain, you've learned in your next season not to complain. So it's always it's always something good coming out of things that might look bad. So just trying to find the good that is coming out of seasons that are kind of hard is probably something that is the most important thing to do when you're going through seasons of tests. Because after you come out of those seasons of tests, it's important to have things that you have grown in from that season, or have things that you have learned from those seasons. Because in every season like that, God is trying to grow you in some area. But if you focus so much on what you're going through, what's going on around you, and not so much on what God has done in you through that season, you'll find yourself going through another season, but you won't use the things that you've learned in the previous one. So it's important that we hold on to what good things have come out of tests and trials, and not live in regret of how we've handled things in the past, but knowing that God can work all things out for our good and for His glory.